welcome to Wednesday's English activity. You will need pen, pencil and a piece of paper for this. And whilst we work through the activity, you will also be completing the task at the same time. So there's no work on Google Classroom today. So, off we go. A bit of a warm-up. Have a think, what are synonyms and antonyms? Synonyms and antonyms, have you ever heard those words? Well, a synonym is a word that has the same or nearly the same meaning as another word. So you might say that a meal was delicious. You might say it was tasty. They have the same meaning. An antonym is a word that has the opposite meaning to another word. So I might say a tunnel was dark. The opposite would be, of course, the tunnel was light. Let's have a bit of a practice. So, draw yourself a quick chart. Cross in the middle and put these headings at the top there. Then I want you to sort these words into the two boxes. So synonyms, words that mean the same as wonderful, and antonyms, words that are the opposite of wonderful. Stop the video and draw your chart and sort the words into it. Okay, right, well, amazing would be a synonym. Awful would be an antonym. Dreadful would be an antonym. Nasty would be an antonym. Horrendous would be an antonym. And appalling would be an antonym. However, incredible, fantastic, unbelievable and astonishing would all be synonyms of wonderful because they have a very similar meaning. So you've got another little activity here. Here are some pictures of some objects and there is a word to describe them underneath. Can you think of a synonym, an interesting synonym that could replace the words in the brackets? Stop the video and jot your ideas down on your paper. You've probably got some amazing words. Off the top of my head, I might say an enormous elephant, a minute mouse, a boiling sunny day, a freezing snowy day, a contented child smiling, and a distressed lady crying. As I say, there are lots of synonyms for these words, so you may well have got some different ideas. Now let's try the opposite activity. So, you have a word in brackets that is describing the picture above. What you need to do is change that word for a word that has the opposite meaning, and it needs to link to the picture. Stop the video and give it a go. Okay, what I might say here, we've got a child who's finding her work easy. I might say that she's finding it challenging if I wanted the opposite meaning or an antonym. This child is finding that she's playing the recorder and it's difficult. You could swap difficult. The antonym would be easy. These two are interchangeable. This bed is soft. If we want the antonym, it's hard. The chair is hard. If we want the antonym, it would be soft. The tunnel is bright. An antonym could possibly be gloomy. You may well have some different ideas. Right, another activity. So, nice is a word that's used an awful lot, and there are many synonyms that you could use instead of the word nice. So, stop the video and see how many synonyms for nice you can think of in a minute. Off you go. Did you get any of these? Likeable, kindly or kind, compassionate, amiable, pleasant, or genial. Do you see how changing the word nice for one of these words would really upscale your writing and make it a lot more interesting? Now, let's have an opposite activity. How many antonyms for the word happy can you think of? So remember, an antonym is a word that has the opposite meaning. So I'm going to give you a minute. Stop your video, time yourself. How many antonyms can you think of that are the opposite to the word happy? Did you get any of these? Melancholy, sad, forlorn, gloomy, mournful, or sorrowful. Right, that's the end of today's warm-up. So now we're going to move on to our poetry for today. So if you've got a clean piece of paper and a pen or pencil, and you'll be making notes as I work through the teaching video here. Like I talked about yesterday, I would like you to think outside the box. So be creative, be bold, don't be frightened to be different. Today's session is called Pyramid Poetry. I've already told you what you need, plus please bring your imagination. So, step 1. Think of a noun. A noun is a name of something. It probably needs to be an actual object. It will be quite difficult if you thought of an abstract noun. And it should be a noun that you know a lot about because you're going to write about it in your poem. I'm going for something really simple, and sometimes simple is the best. My noun, my object, is a tree. Stop the video, jot some ideas down, and then maybe focus in on one of them. You will need to pick one before we move on. Okay, step 2. You need to have picked your noun by now. And what I would like you to do is add an adjective in front of the noun. So just think of some words that would fit nicely in front of the noun that could describe it. Let me share my ideas with you. I've thought of ancient could go in front of the word tree, oak, or even a battered tree. So once you've got your noun, maybe pick 3 adjectives that you could use. Stop the video and note some ideas down. Step 3. I'd like you to add a verb after the noun to tell me what the object is doing. Let me share my ideas. Ancient tree swaying, oak tree growing, oak tree standing. Could be an oak tree listening, oak tree falling down. You try and fit a verb on the end, well, of your phrase. So far we haven't got a sentence, have we? Add a verb after the noun. Give yourself some choices so that later when you come back to write your poem, you can pick the one you like most. Stop the video, get your ideas down. Now, I'd like you to add another adjective before the noun. So we've now got 2 adjectives to describe this object. I have an elegant oak tree swaying, a majestic ash tree standing. Have a go at thinking of another adjective, a really, really good adjective, not the first one you think of. Maybe look at the first one and think, is there a synonym I could use that would upscale my writing? Stop the video and get your ideas down. Now, step 5. I want you to add a preposition at the end of the phrase. Now, a preposition tells us where something is. So, where is my oak tree? Where is it? Is it on something, behind something, among, near, under? You might be able to think of some different prepositions. So we're actually going to start with a preposition and expand it into a prepositional phrase. Let me show you my example. Elegant oak tree swaying in Goff's oak. That's the preposition, that's the phrase. Elegant oak tree standing beside a stream. That's the preposition, that's the phrase. Stop the video and add some notes to tell me where your object is. So, for the next step, you're going to add the conjunction and you're going to add another verb. So this object is doing one thing while it's doing another thing. Let me share you my examples with you. So I have an elegant oak tree swaying in Goff's oak and standing guard. So I've added another verb after the word and. Majestic oak tree standing beside a stream and listening. Bit of personification there, I've brought the tree to life. Stop the video, add the word and tell me something else your object is doing. Finally, you need to add a determiner to the beginning of your poem. Now, a determiner is a word like a, an, the, our, or my. And this is where you can really experiment to see which one sounds best in your line. I haven't written all of the poem here. We could have the elegant oak tree, a majestic oak tree, our elegant oak tree. You decide which determiner fits best in the line of your poem. Stop the video and have a little try out there. Now, step 8, you are ready to write your poem out in a pyramid shape, building up each line as you go. I'll show you mine and read it as an example, and you can see how the poetry that we've built up builds up to be almost the shape of a tree. Tree by Mrs. Jackson. Tree, oak tree, majestic oak tree, majestic oak tree standing, majestic oak tree standing in Goff's oak, majestic oak tree standing in Goff's oak and watching us. Our majestic oak tree standing in Goff's oak and watching us. And while I was writing it, I wanted a trunk. So I've picked a really good adjective, spectacular, and I split it up to provide a trunk for the tree. I'd love to see or hear your poems, so please, please, please send me a video or a photograph of your work. Good luck.